Good evening. Hello. Paul's Beer Reviews. Something a bit different this evening. Something a bit different. I know a few of my subs are big football fans, not just beer swigging monsters. Obviously the news broke last night of this potential European Super League. Most of you know I'm a massive football fan as well as a beer fan. So when the news broke, I was a little bit gutted, a little bit shocked, a little bit angered by it all. It's been on my mind for the last 24 hours, and the story has developed as the day's gone along. So I thought I'd come on here and see if anyone wanted to have a chat about it, see what people's thoughts were about the whole situation. Brad Evans has been in. He says, don't think there's going to be much of a debate. It's an awful idea. Cancel the game. Someone changed my mind. So Bieski's in. Hello, mate. How are you? What are your thoughts? So yeah, like I say, we're just kind of going to throw it out there to you. Talk about it. Let us know what you think. Are you football fans? I'm assuming most of you are football fans if you're tuning into this one. Salty Popcorn's in. Hello, mate. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. What are your thoughts? Personally, I'm a Spurs fan, and I'm gutted. Genuinely really disappointed that the club has gone in this direction. And it's strange because you might know Jose Mourinho, our boss, was sacked earlier today as well. So I had a moment of happiness, a moment of joy, but the whole story of the Super League thing has just overshadowed it all for me. I just think it's a horrible, horrible time. Paul Taylor, evening. Hello, Paul. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. Phil Smith is in. Hello, Phil. Hello, mate. How are you? How you doing? Hope you're well. Tom Hughes is in. Hello, Paul, Newcastle fan. Hello, Tom. What are your thoughts, mate? What are your thoughts on it all? Sobieski, terrible idea. Yeah, I agree. I agree. If you don't know what's happened, I'm just going to read from the Sky Sports website just a brief summary of what exactly has happened. So last night, 12 of Europe's leading football clubs announced that they've agreed to establish a new midweek competition, the European Super League, governed by its founding clubs. The proposal involves the clubs forming their own competition to rival the UEFA Champions League. So from England, obviously, we've got Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, United, Liverpool have all signed up to this thing. Stephen Russell's in. Hello, mate. How are you? Dave says, Hans Flick, next Spurs manager. I think he wants the German job, doesn't he? I think that's what my understanding is, after the Germany job. Steve Russell, pure greed. Yep, my sentiments exactly. Kevin, hello, you footballers. Kevin won't have a clue what we're chatting about. I think Americans don't see the issue here. They're used to the whole franchise thing, no relegation and all that. Salty, why sack Jose just before the final? His payoff must be millions. My understanding is they're paying him 15 million quid. 15 million pound payoff. That's not bad for getting sacked, is it? I'm glad he's gone. Personally, I'm glad he's gone. I didn't give us a chance on Sunday. Now I do. I think that might give us a shot in the arm that we might need in the preparation for a cup final. So we'll see. Phil saying hello to Kevin. He says Everton would have won the last ever derby on Liverpool grounds in front of no one. So could you imagine that? Could you imagine how sad that would be? I think it's a horrific idea. I know there's been talk of this for years. There's been rumblings of this sort of thing for years, that the big boys, the top boys, weren't 100% happy of their financial share from UEFA in the Champions League. They felt that they should have been getting more of the TV money because they reckon that they were the main attraction. But I kind of got the feeling that they were saying all of this just to kind of use it as like a bargaining tool in negotiations with UEFA. I didn't think that they'd actually sign up to it. I didn't think this would actually see the light of day. Sobieski says they'll end up playing these games all over the world. That's another good point. Look what's happened to boxing, staging fights in Saudi. Yeah, you could see football going that way, couldn't you? As far as I'm concerned, this is 12 businessmen or 12 investing companies, owning companies that have looked at their companies and thought, how can we maintain profits? Not how can we maintain the quality of the game or anything like this. This has got nothing to do with the sport. This is nothing to do with the supporters. This is nothing to do with the grassroots of the game. This is literally these 12 individuals trying to maintain the success of their businesses. I think it's disgusting. The more I think about it, the more it annoys me. Kev says, I have to ask my friend what he thinks of this because he's a big fan of football. Yeah. I mean, I know Americans, they've been talking to Americans about it, and they don't see the issue because in the MLS, they have a similar structure. There's no relegation. Once you're in it, you're in it. Rich is in. Hello, mate. Oh, Rich, how are you? Dave Howlett, profit, profit, profit. Exactly. Profit. I mean, the questions are: Would you go? Would you go? Like if the tickets were cheap, let's say the club suddenly made the ticket prices for these games dirt cheap. Would you go? Would you fund it? Would you watch it? Because all this does, it proves even more to me that the ticket prices and the ticket sales in football clubs are so minuscule now, it don't mean a thing. So this is all about the TV for me. Tom says it's a terrible idea. None of the teams deserve it. Man U, Arsenal, Tottenham aren't even in the Champions League. And what about Leicester? Exactly. 20 years ago, Man City were rubbish. It's true. It's all the money. It's like, from a Spurs fan, Spurs ain't won a trophy in donkey's years. We've never won a Champions League. We're there purely because of what we're worth. We're there purely because of the money in the bank at Tottenham Hotspur. It's ridiculous. So when they're telling us it's about the progress of the game, it's nonsense. Matt Smith says, evening, let them go. Football was around before the Big Six and will be around if they go. Woodward is a snake, ex-JP Morgan. That's it. They're the guys that are funding it, aren't they? Help with the Glazer takeover. Let them go. I hope it fails. Kiss, it sounds like the MLS here in America. Yeah, it's the same sort of structure. No relegation, nothing like that. Rich says, I don't know what's happening. English football will die. David Thompson says, Yanks ain't got a clue about promotion or relegation. Yeah, exactly that. Where are we? Cool, I've lost a few here. Stephen says, over 100 years of football history going down a toilet for money. Yeah, I hope it fails. I hope it doesn't see the light of day. I really do. The Premier League would be more interesting if it happens, but I would feel empty. Rich says, I don't care about the fans, FIFA. I love football, but it's Salty Potker says, why sack Potts now? Jose. Potts definitely shouldn't be sacked. Jose needed to be sacked. Levy needs to go. It's starting to look that way, isn't it? It's the same thing. We've gone through managers, but the same owners have been there the whole time. I'm going to get my mate Scott involved, another football fan. We're going down the leagues now.
Yeah.
Involved. Hello, son. Right. What are your thoughts, mate?
Do you know what? I describe myself as a lapsed football fan these days. Obviously, I live in Portsmouth. Don't really go to their games anymore. It's been the game I love for years. They've tried this for 20 years. This nonsense. Didn't hear about it till this morning. Till I saw the really. I'm no lover of Gary Neville, Paul, but I saw what he said yesterday, and it was absolutely on the money. He pulled no punches. He didn't split hair between Liverpool or Man United, and every word that man said was on the button. It's about greed. It's about money. And it's a betrayal of you, of your. I have absolutely no doubt. And then I was at work this morning, and I saw that Jose had been sacked, and I have no doubt in my mind it's probably because he wrote. Obviously, we don't know, but he's obviously raised massive objections to this, and I think he's paid the price for that. And yeah. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, I heard that. There was a rumour that Jose wouldn't take training this morning because he was fuming with the fact that Spurs had agreed to do it. I mean, that's since been debunked by people within the know, and they said it is purely a results-based thing. But I'd like to think he did. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to think if he did one thing in his time at Spurs, he would have said, "No, this ain't right. This ain't right. I'm not doing it."
If that isn't a coincidence, it's one hell of a coincidence.
Yeah, it's a good story, isn't it? Makes a good story. You know, I don't know if any other managers.
I find it. I mean, I said it. I did my little lunch video today, and went off on a massive rant. And I'm of a firm believer. If they want to do this, then that's absolutely fine. But chuck them out. Chuck them out of the Premier League. They're gone. Just go. If that's what you want to do, off.
Well, at the moment, that's kind of the risk they're taking because UEFA have said if they do this, they can't play in their domestic league. They can't play in the domestic cups. They won't be able to play in the country, so they won't be able to play in the UEFA Europa tournament, and they won't be able to play in the FIFA World Cup. So they won't be able to represent their country. So you've got to think how many players are going to want to do it. So Matt says we need a total boycott. Fans, sponsors, broadcasters of the money-making scam. Totally agree. Totally agree. Rich says one advantage Newcastle may get in the Champions League, but who's going to want to get in the Champions League? It's going to be worth nothing. You'll never be regarded as a proper champion, will you? If you get into it, it's going to be nonsense.
It's this big six. It's this big six, and who decides? I watched Dave's video. Dave's done one on Blue Van Man 2.0 today, and he's absolutely right. And I heard you say about it. Who decides who's the big six in this country? Because you've got Arsenal that are a big club. I don't deny they're a big club, but they're an absolute shambles at the moment. Tottenham, as you said, haven't won anything for years. Man City are there because they've got oil diggers making their money. Same as Chelsea. I mean, who decries a big six? Leicester have been in the top probably 4 or 5 for the last 5 years. How are they not there?
Yeah,
it's incredible. It's done on name only, name value.
It's like a VIP guest list, isn't it? It's like if you show us enough cash, we'll let you in, sort of thing. It's a joke. It's an absolute farce.
As you've just said, where does that leave the Champions League? Because at that point, it becomes redundant.
Yeah,
There's nothing.
That's it. You get there, but you'll always have the European Super League, which is going to be above it because you're never putting yourself.
Which you can't be relegated from.
Yeah, it's silly. It's silly. It's literally these business owners that are trying to maintain the profit. So if they can't get relegated, they can't lose money, right? So it's ridiculous. Dave says new start at Tesco, mate. Northern Monk. Oh, was that gone in Tesco as well?
Oh, blimey! I didn't see that. I picked up these. I've point blank refused to do the Cloudwater core range. I'm not interested after their stance on belittling supermarkets and all that. I refuse to do the core range. I have done one of the box ones today, so I'm interested in them. But the fact that they're Cloudwater beers and brewed at Ellen in Brewdog is a nonsense to me.
Yeah, I think they're all brewed at Brewdog, aren't they?
Yeah, all of them.
Absolutely brewing. But I think the good thing, Cloudwater ain't making a penny from it, and neither are Brewdog. So it's all going to the 4 small independent breweries, which is quite cool. So I'm all for that. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Kev says, I'm wondering if you will have 2 leagues eventually because the fans will demand it. I'd say, realistically, I don't think it'll happen. But I mean, the fact that they're pushing it, the fact that these clubs have signed up to it, I think it's disgusting. I really do.
Well, Man United, they withdrew from, is it ECA or EGA or something today? That is one of the UEFA things that looks after 200 of the smaller teams, and they've just fucking gone.
I've heard Chelsea. Wow. Chelsea have left as well.
Chelsea. And it's just, wow, okay. So you're actually saying to smaller teams. That's what you're saying now. Off you go.
Well, my understanding is that now means they can't actually play in the Champions League or the Europa League. They now can't play in the for European competition. So they've,
that was my understanding.
Burnt their bridges. So this is going to rumble on for a while because if it doesn't work, they're all going to look really stupid for a long time after this. It's crazy. Dave says, Jose's a tosser. Who do you want as a new manager? I like the look of either Nagelsmann at RB Leipzig or a bit out there. I'll take Brendan Rodgers at Leicester. I know he'd fancy a big club. So
good job, Dave ain't on as you. He'd be shouting at you.
I'd like to have a punt on Nagelsmann, but I think he'll get the Bayern job. I think he's a shoo-in for that one.
I never saw Jose as a Tottenham man. He was the wrong fit for that club all day long.
I said it when Poch went, I was gutted, and then when Jose was hired, I was angry. So I was not a happy person in that 24 hours. It was I knew it wouldn't work. It doesn't take an expert to know it wouldn't work. Just 2 completely conflicting styles, Tottenham Hotspur and Jose Mourinho. It was never going to work. I thought it might last a bit longer, but you know.
Well, you look at you go back to this big six, right? So you've got Manchester United in there. Undoubtedly one of the biggest clubs in the world. But what have they done since Ferguson left?
No, not really.
What have they won? Yeah. So as a man, I mean, I hated Alex Ferguson as a man, but that man won them so many medals. and basically ran that team for 20 years, for however long he was there. Since he's left, they're nothing.
Yeah.
They're nothing.
Yeah. Well, they've won a Europa League, haven't they? They won an FA Cup, didn't they, a couple of years ago? But they're not the powerhouse they were. Do you know what I mean? So Nathan says, with the amount of backlash from this, do you think it will honestly go ahead? So I want to say no. I really want to say no. But money talks, doesn't it? And it seems that all these things start at the idea process and they just snowball and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And like I say, I've heard rumblings of this now for a good 2-3 years, but I never thought it would ever rear its head. And now this
has been going on for 20 years in the background. This was mooted when the Premier League came out. I mean, it's been mooted for years. I don't think it's ever got as far as this. I think this is as far as it's ever got. Will it ever happen? I wouldn't put it past it.
Yeah,
money talks, and when the money talks,
exactly that. Well, Kev's literally just said it. What will happen if the fans don't fill the seats? I don't think they'll give a toss. I don't think they'll care.
They won't care because the rights generated by the TV rights will pay for anything.
Yeah, but I've heard that they reckon if you win the Champions League, if you win it, you earn about £80 million out of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the maximum. So if you get all the way through the Champions League, you win it, essentially your club will get 80 million through awards from UEFA. They reckon just being in this Super League will earn you £250 million a season. So that's 2-3 times what you make from winning the Champions League, just being in it. You know, so from a business sense, I get it. But from a football sense, it's a no-go. You can't do it, you know, it just hammers home the point. This is nothing to do with football. Absolutely nothing to do with football. They couldn't give them
I have a feeling this is going to be tied up in so much red tape. Obviously, where you've got UEFA and FIFA are saying, I'm not sure about FIFA, but I know UEFA are saying it's a no-go, and the players will be banned from sort of world competitions and all that. I think it's going to. So you're then saying to young players, if you go and do this and chase this cash cow that's there, you can no longer play for your country. There's going to be ramifications. There's going to be court battles. This going to turn into an absolute shit show.
Yeah, this is going to get a hell of a lot worse before it gets any better, isn't it? Absolutely right. How far? What are we, 7th now? I don't even know. I haven't even looked at the table. We've been in charge, to be honest. I just wanted it over. Richard said, hello, Scott. Stephen says there'll end up being a dry. Yeah, that's it. There'll be like a week-long transfer window where we're all nicking the best young players from academies and that. It'd be embarrassing. Salty Popcorn, Harry Kane last playing. Exactly. All these players are going to have a decision to make, aren't they? Because if you make a stick to their hands and say, right, okay, you can have the European Super League, but then your players can't represent their country. They can't play in their domestic league. How many players realistically are going to want to represent clubs in this European Super League? I mean, they're going to have to pay them a hell of a lot of money because the incentive's gone other than finances, right?
Correct.
It just doesn't make sense. There's more questions than answers for this thing for me. It's baffling. Kev saying hello to Scott. Paul says, nice one, guys, for the stream. Beer needed. Yeah, get the beers down, you mate. I might have one as well. Blue Van Managing says, hello, Dave. He says, Man United haven't got any cash. They're millions in debt. Exactly. And it's Barcelona, and they're like £1 billion in debt right now. So no wonder they tied up.
But it's like Manchester United. Until the Glaziers took over, they were running as a profitable company. They took over. They're fucking millions in debt. Millions.
Yeah. They basically inherited the debts, didn't they? They bought into the stuff and inherited the debt.
Yeah.
Madness. It's madness. But as my understanding, this is Real Madrid and Manchester United are the two clubs that have really pushed for this. This is their baby, and you couldn't think of probably the two biggest and most successful clubs in the history of European football, and the two biggest enemies in world football right now, aren't they? Everyone hates United and Real Madrid.
Also the two greediest.
Yeah, 100%. So Rich says,
didn't Anders Hernandez come out and just absolute slate it today, saying it was an absolute disgrace?
Yeah, Well, is it PSG turned it down? Bayern Munich have turned it down. I understand Dortmund have turned it down today as well. But they've got the right idea, you know. Hopefully, the rest of them turn it all down, you know.
I think there's there certainly. I watched the Gary Neville. I watched part of what Gary Neville said. Obviously, I do a couple of lunch videos a week, and thought I was so angry, and I don't usually get angry about football anymore because it doesn't affect me too much. But I just think I've got friends like you, Dave, other people that are personally involved in this decision, people in the chat, and I just find it's reprehensible that yet again, we've got a world out there that is struggling to find its way back to any sort of normality, and you've got these arseholes treating fans again like shit, and it really roils me.
That's it. Talk about kicking when they're down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Talk about timing.
Yeah, it's disgusting, isn't it? Problem's got it's 12%, £5 a tin, mate. I've got to get a Tesco. I sent you a message about it on Instagram, didn't I? The Death Star beer. I said that's a bit of you, Scott. You're going to be all over that, surely.
Yeah, Northern Monk are fantastic, aren't they?
They're a good brewery, aren't they? They're a good brewery. What do you think of the? Did you have the You had the secret one, didn't you? They're crisp.
We had the goes, the prawn cut. To be fair, mate, it was all right. I didn't get hold of the cheese and onion. I missed it. But the gozer was all right. I'll tell you what we've got coming up this week. I think it's on, might be tomorrow actually. Is we've done the Seven Brothers peanut butter on a Jaffa cake.
Oh
stand.
yeah.
Mate, and it's not that because it's Seven Brothers have done this. They're Seven Brothers brewing 7 beers for their 7th birthday, and they're all doing an individual one. This is called peanut butter on a Jaffa cake, and within the review, because on the tin it says. Now that I've told you about this, go and have one. So we do peanut butter on a Jaffa cake, and it's a revelation. No. It's incredible. What a great beer!
I'm going to do that now. Just go buy some Jaffa cakes as a peanut butter.
It's something that you'd never think would work. Never think would work. And even Wanda was like, "What amazing!"
So I've had peanut butter and jam. I've had peanut butter and lemon curd, but I never thought basically marmalade and chocolate in it. Marmalade, chocolate.
Yeah. But obviously, with that cakey, and we put it on the cake bit, and it brings everything together. It's fantastic. It really is.
Awesome. We've got another guest. We're going to add the big man to the panel. Well,
I'll send him the link.
Good man. Hello, Dave. You all right, mate?
Fucking fuming.
Blue bad man, everyone. There's an intro. Thanks, on. What are you thinking, Dave? What are your thoughts, mate? Let us know.
It's just, do you know what it is, right? It's the more I'll plug my own channel, but I just did it for fuck's sake on my Blue Van Man 2.0, and I had a 24-minute rant about it, and I'm still thinking about it. And it's not about Europe, right? This is more about Asia and your fucking Americans. It's about them. It's like Manchester United. They're sponsored by Chevrolet. Who the fuck would buy a Chevrolet here? Nobody.
Good point.
All the advertising that Man United's got, it's all tied up with the Glaziers, and the Glaziers have got that many pies. The fucking freaky fuckers haven't got enough fingers for the pies. And they're just exploiting everybody. It's like they're moaning, "Oh, we've got too many games to play. We can't play all the games. Let's leave us out the League Cup." But you can soon fly halfway around the fucking world and play some shit tournaments in Asia.
Yeah, we've had this before when they say we've got too many games in the world. We play too many games a season, but then before they start the season, they're all around the globe playing these bloody little mini tournaments before they even start the fucking seasons off.
Yeah, and they put them out there. It's like Liverpool, right? They were moaning because they had to play the champions of champions, weren't it? The thing, right? So they stuck the reserves out against Villa. So that devalued that cup because they can soon fucking play. This is the problem. When you're successful, you play games. If you don't like it, don't fucking play. You lads go to work every fucking day unless your glass back kicks in. Right? Yeah, you go to work every day, yeah, and that's it. When I played football and when my mates played football, you'd go training on a Monday or a Wednesday, you'd play on a fucking Saturday, you'd play on a Sunday morning pissed up, and you'd still go to work. Yet these fucking idiots, they're getting paid £250,000 a week. They're poncing around in the fucking Lamborghinis and the Range Rovers. They don't give a shit. And I tell you something else, right? You got all these Gary Neville, right, and bloody Rio Ferdinand. Oh, I'm crying. And the reason why they're crying is because if they don't get on this bloody Super League, they ain't got a fucking job. They're crying over that. They don't give a shit about us either. Rio Ferdinand, how much of a football fan is he? He left fucking Leeds and went and joined the biggest rivals. So balls to loving about your club.
Yeah,
the only thing I like about Gary Neville is I've never been a Gary Neville fan, but I know is it Salford City that he plows money into. Now, at least he's giving some of his money back into grassroots football at that level. I know him, and I think it's him and Paul Scholes and Nicky Butter are all involved in that.
I think Beckham's involved as well, isn't he?
Yeah. But I agree, Dave. I messaged you this morning about it, and you said you were doing a video, and I'm like, it's very rare do I get really hacked off about football these days because I'm so far removed from it. But when I see that sort of decision made and the people that it affects, the grassroots people, not the fucking prawn sandwich brigade that Roy Keane famously called them years ago, guys like you two that have been there around the Premiership, especially Dave, as a club that's done well for the last 5 or 6 years and suddenly not one of the big six. I mean, it's fucking disgraceful.
Yeah. How are Leicester are not invited to this when Tottenham Hotspur are? It does that alone doesn't make any sense.
But it's name, isn't it? It's your name. It's your name. It's your glamour clubs.
It's all about
the other thing is, it's like they're going on about how rich the club is, and I've actually put the message on that Man United, and I heard you say it as I was putting the shirt on, because the last thing you lot want to see is me running around with my tits out. But the thing is, Man United haven't got any money, really, have they? They're millions and millions of pounds in debt, thanks to their owners, because their owners are complete knobheads. You know, and I mean, what's that yellow and green that they played at Manchester when they went on that thing where they wore the yellow and green? You know, if I were a Man United fan, sod it. I mean, I tell you what, right? You go down the KP, right, and it's full of people, Thailand people, right? And they come over because of our owners, right? Because they've got massive king power out there. Yet you come to Manchester United, it's the Asian people are all there. You can't get a ticket for Man United because it's everybody from all over the world. And this is all about. It's just making Manchester United a global brand and making it more open for them. And it's they're just killing it.
As I said before you came on, Dave, obviously Ferguson won everything with Manchester United. He was there. Without them, before them, and after him, they're nothing. They're a nothing club. They don't win fuck all without them. Yeah, they're trading on, like Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal. They're trading on the name of the past, and you know it just winds me up that they can be so blinkered to that. So since the day that Ferguson left, they've had Moyes. Who else they had? Mourinho. All these people. They've not won fuck all. They've not won the league since.
Yeah, that didn't work. I've just seen Matt Smith comment. I was going to mention this. This guy said today, an unnamed CEO said this owner said if they have to leave the Premier League, so be it. They will leave. The owners don't give a damn. They're just seeing revenue, profit. Yep. Now, I was watching Sky Sports News this morning with me coffee and me Weetabix, and they're all up pretending that they're all really gutted about it all, and I'm all that, and I'm thinking to myself, as Sky Sports News, Sky Sports in general won't be in front of the queue bidding for the TV rights for this thing. You tell me they won't be there trying to broadcast it.
Well, they'll be front and centre.
The trouble is, there's more companies, aren't there? I mean, I think you can actually get the Premier League free via a Canadian subscriber, and you can't get done for watching it on this thing. and there's more and more people where you can, more and more companies where you can get access to it. And I think the reason why Sky are worried is because if it does happen, right, these other companies from Asia and all that, they'll be charging it cheaper than Sky, and Sky are going to lose a complete fortune. They're going to lose the monopoly. And fucking good job and all.
Yeah.
Fucking bust them, because if it weren't for Sky pumping the prices up every year on films and all this, they're already struggling because of Amazon and Netflix. So let's make them struggle in the sports now as well. Fuck them.
Well, they've lost the cricket, haven't they? They've lost the cricket. They've lost something else as well.
They lost the wrestling.
Lost the wrestling. So there's all the stuff that used to bring their stuff through the door. All they've got, they've lost half of their games to BT anyway. So they're beginning to lose.
Well, they lost the Champions League as well, didn't they? They lost the Champions League to BT.
That's right.
BT will be crying. BT will be crying about it, but they'll all be there bidding. Rio Ferdinand, he'll be there as well. If they went up to Rio and said, "Oh, here, Rio, we'll give you fucking £500,000 to do 5 games," oh, fucking too right, I'm off. He'll be gone.
Do you know what? I signed up for the Sky Sports package for the first time in years back in January last year, and obviously then we had lockdown and all that bollocks. But as soon as my 2-year contract's up, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
I'm sick. I like the. Do you know what? I like watching darts. I love watching the darts and the boxing. Apart from that, it can fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck them. I've had enough of it. I'm actually really thinking about. I know I do it for Fox's sake, so I have to watch Leicester play. I don't have to watch Leicester. I want to watch Leicester play. You know what I mean? The thing. But I'm actually thinking about knocking for Fox's sake on the head and go and review my local team. And
do you know what, Dave? You'd actually probably get more. You'd probably get more views for taking your camera down, standing at whoever you're, Loughborough, fucking United, or whoever they are down there, standing by the side of the pitch, talking to common people. You'd probably get more views doing that than you would with Leicester.
I am actually thinking of doing that because it's just a complete joke at the moment. These fucking Americans and these Arabs and all that, they just fucking don't give a fuck about anybody apart from themselves.
But they just don't know it. They don't know football. They don't know how the sport works over here. It's not, apparently a lot of these investors came in and bought Premier League clubs, not knowing the whole idea of promotions, playoffs, relegation. They were like, what? Relegation?
Yeah. That's what happened. That was the Blackburn overs, weren't it? Then chicken people came in. Didn't realise we'll get relegated.
Yeah.
Yeah, bunch of fucking idiots. Stick to plucking your chicken.
It's like when the guys, was it Warner? Is that his name, Werner? Guy who came into Liverpool. They're investors. They own the Red Sox as well, don't they?
Oh, yes.
And when they first came in, someone explained the concept of relegation to them. And they explained the difference in the money that the clubs make in the championships and what they make in the Premier League. And they were like, why? They were like, why would you allow that? Why would you allow relegation? They don't get it. Yeah. They don't get it.
Yeah. That's all right. Just let you fucking get them.
This was it. This is a result of that. They've invested in these companies, so they think if we can't get relegated, then the company will continue to make profit. So it's nothing to do with sport at all.
So my phone has just flashed up with breaking news, and it reads: Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has said he did not find out about the European Super League until its announcement, and stood by previous comments in opposition to the idea. Speaking on Monday Night Football on Sky Sports, Klopp was asked about the comments in 2019, in which he said he hoped such a competition would never happen. He has said his opinion hasn't changed.
Wow.
So you've got a manager and one of these clubs that's not actually interested in a competition that his club that he's managing are proposing to go and fucking play in.
Yeah. So there you go. So you've got a conflict of interest in the same club now. So this it can't work, can it? It can't work.
So if Yozi's left as well because of what the reports are saying is that he didn't want to do it, you ain't going to get any. You've got two of your biggest managers now in Europe, in the world, and they don't want to do it. Who the fuck's going to want to do it? Who's going to want to manage a club?
So he said, we were not involved in the process, not the players, not me. We didn't know about it. That's the case, or the facts. The facts are out there. We will have to wait and see how it all develops.
Yeah.
So the players don't want to know. The manager doesn't want to know.
Do you know what it's like? Do you know what it's like? It's because they don't know how it works over here. It's like Meghan Markle. She don't know how the royal family works. She thought she could change it, and she's being made like what she is. And it's happening exactly the same with football. It's just a complete joke.
Yeah, I don't get it. The culture's different. The way the things work is different. But they want to change it to the way they want it. They want it their way. You know.
Yeah. The Americans are probably saying, "Where's the guns? Where do you keep your guns?" No, that's a trophy cabinet, mate. It's not a fucking gun cabinet.
It was always said, didn't it? It was said. I remember it from years ago. You got basketball where the scores are in the fucking hundreds. You've got American football where it can be like 31-28. And Americans were never interested in soccer because it's like 1-0. And they never got it. The scores weren't fucking high enough.
Yeah. You ever tried watching the Super Bowl?
No. The last one I watched was 86 when the Chicago Bears won it.
Blimey. We are going back.
What, with the fridge? The fridge play?
The fridge. But I've
William
never
Perry.
seen a sport designed for television more than that. Like stop, start, ad break. It's so hard to watch. I don't know how they do it. Crazy. Yeah, pure agree. Totally agree.
I tried watching baseball. Fucking dull.
Rounders.
Big boys rounders.
Fucking rounders.
Rounders with a uniform. Brilliant. We love Americans, really. We really do.
I love Americans. It's fantastic. Boxing, huge fan of it, especially the razzmatazz out in Vegas and California and that with the boxing. But it just their concept of an English sport, or not just an English sport, but a worldwide sport, is lost on them. Because I mean, the Major League, the World Series of baseball that has no other fucking countries in it.
Even our friend here, Jim, American, the professional sports in America's gone to shit. I haven't watched a single bit. It's way too politicised.
Yeah, it's just shit, isn't it? Everything's just shit. And I mean, all right, we've got Americans watching tonight. I know some Americans, Dutch Creek Cabin and Bobblehead, right? Lovely lads. We chat to them. But America, you just fuck the world up with your ideas. Whatever starts there, it comes over here and it just spreads. It does though, doesn't it? It's like you've got, like you just said, you've got the World Series. It ain't the fucking World Series. It's America.
Yeah.
You know, like Mr. Universe. Well, where's the bloke from Mars? Where's he then?
I love it when a team wins the NBA playoffs and they're the world champions. It's the only country that played in it.
You're not the world champions. You're not the world champions or nothing. It's just ridiculous. And to be fair, if I was American, I'd be fucking embarrassed by this because this is where it comes. I mean, the bank that's rolling this, is it that JP Morgan or something, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now we all know how fragile banks are at the moment. Look at Royal Bank of Scotland, right? Went tits up. Who bailed them out? We did, the public. Our stupid fucking government bailed them out. If JP Morgan goes tits up, right, who's going to bail this out? Because you're going to have footballers who are still going to want to be paid. You're still going to have things that want contracts being paid. And if JP Morgan goes tits up, who's going to pay it?
Who's going to fund it? Yeah, exactly. Darren's spot on here. It's the owners. They're just bang out of order. It's just money.
And it's you poor bastards of these clubs that you support and you love that are fucking.
We weren't asked.
You're the ones that are being taken for this ride. It's disgraceful.
Yeah, we weren't asked. I got no email from the club saying, "Do you think we should get into this?" They just went ahead and agreed to it. Thanks very much.
Apparently, Jurgen Klopp didn't get one either. So you're not the only one.
Exactly that. It's crazy. Simo wasn't drink. He's having one now, though.
Yeah, it's just a complete joke. It's just so wrong what's happening, and something's got to be done about it. It's just we've had enough of it.
Yeah. So what would football be without fans?
Going back to American sport, I've never understood, and I'm not trying to offend anyone here. I've never understood the culture of sport that can pick a team up from one city and just move it to a fucking another city and call it something else. It just baffles me.
It's a good point there, Joe. I mean, if this happens to football, European football as we know it, there's no ending, is it? They can take anything they want, can't they?
The only thing is
if they do this, they just take the soul of football. That's what they're taking with this.
I don't think there's another sport as big as football. You can't do it with cricket because nobody wants cricket apart from India, Pakistan, Australia, and New Zealand. Nobody else. The Americans can't get the fucking head out. They can't get their head out the arse over cricket. No. So there's no point in doing that. They're not going to do it with rugby league. They're not going to do it in rugby union because rugby league and rugby union, they haven't got the helmets on and all the pads because there's something else they can't understand is that you might actually get fucking hurt in it and you've got to be all wrapped up in fucking bubble wrap. So it's there. There's only soccer or football. You see, they've even had to change the name like you said, Scott. They've even had to change the fucking name to suit their agenda. It's football, right? Football, you don't use your hands. You don't fucking throw it and catch it.
Yeah, it's handball.
It's football.
Exactly. Kev's got it there. He says he had a mate who was a season ticket holder at LA Galaxy. Hated the direction of the ownership, told him to F off, now he follows semi-pro teams. That's probably what I'll do, to be honest. I'll go follow the local club down the road.
I think that's what I think if they're in real danger of they don't, I said in my video today, they don't want us. They don't want the likes of us three or any of these guys in the chat. They want the prawn sandwich, fucking multi-millionaire, conglomerate, fucking media people that have got the money to follow them around the world. The days of them actually caring what you think, what Dave thinks, what I think, what Paul, Captain Meat Adventure thinks, they're gone. Gone.
Yeah. What makes it even worse is out of the 6 clubs, Spurs are the only one that's still British owned. You'd have thought that they might have been ones that said no. They're all over it. They're just as much bloodsuckers as the rest of them. That makes it even
Saw the money, didn't they? Saw the money.
Horrible. Matt Busby is Alex Bay Man United, not the owners. The fans and the managers, the players, they're what makes a club. There's a massive banner at Old Trafford with one of the quotes from Matt Busby saying like the fans were the foundation of Manchester United. Yeah, nothing to do with Sky Sports or your owners or your foreign investors. And if you do this, fans are going to walk away. They're bound to.
You look at Man United, and I'll go back to what I said earlier. And John Morris is absolutely right in what he said there. Matt Busby and Sir Alex Ferguson, those 2 managers made that club. They've got a huge following, but without those 2 managers, they don't win fuck all. Yeah. Nothing. They don't win anything.
I think the UEFA president did a statement this evening saying that. Because before Alex Ferguson came along, Manchester United were God knows where. He was saying things like that. You know, he did up the big 6.
And since he retired, nothing. They win the odd cup here and there, but they're fantastic. I mean, my uncle, he's like my dad. He's a massive Man United fan, but they don't win anything. They're lucky if they win the fucking coin toss.
Yeah, money dropping hard's got its spot on there. #Save Football. Yeah, Rich is on the dodge. He watches all the matches for free. He's just told everyone.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Sky Shirt, totally agree. Sky TV, they did, didn't they? ITV Digital, do you remember that?
Yeah, fucking shit, weren't it, as well?
Did it?
Was it a stereo or something like I don't know, like triangular? I don't know.
No, that was BSB, weren't it? That was British.
BSB.
Sky bought that out, didn't they?
Yeah.
Fucking wankers. But
used as hell as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Kevin,
something's going to have to happen, and the thing as well is it's like they've actually done it when there's no fans in the ground, so the fans can't voice their opinions. You know, the fans can't throw anything at the owners, they can't boo at them, they can't do anything. This is almost like a good day to bury bad news, isn't it? Because they can just do what they fucking like.
It's like a well-planned, coordinated attack that can take place because there's no fucking comeback from in those grounds.
No.
Yeah. You can't touch them, can you? They're untouchable. No. They're not.
Do you know what? I said on my rant for fuck's sake, I've had enough with a lot of them. I've had enough with politicians. They just fucking lie and lie and lie. These owners, they're going to spend the money. They're going to do this for your club. They're going to shit cucumbers. They're going to, but they don't. They just lie to us. Lie. And the worst thing is, right, is that the public, we just fucking lap it up all the time. Yeah, they're going to do this, they're going to look after us. But are they fuck going to look after us? The only people that look after you are yourselves. And that's it. But I'm about fucking done with it.
With ticket prices, when Tottenham moved into the new stadium and they unveiled the season ticket prices and how much they went up by, people were like, I can't afford that. And basically their reaction was, well, other people can. That was their response.
Well, Arsenal were the same, weren't they? When they moved into the Emirates, I mean, they like fucking tripled. It was astonishing.
Yeah, it was insane. It was absolutely. They don't give a monkeys. Don't give a monkeys.
But you see, the thing is, this is the thing about the Leicester owners, right? They don't put the tickets up, right? They do put them up, but they don't put stupid amounts up, right? Leicester owners, every so often, you'll turn up and there's a fucking beanie hat on your chair, right? They'll do this thing where you can have a free pint and a free pie. Now, Leicester holds around 32,000. 32,000 pints and 32,000 pies at a couple of pound a piece. You know, you're looking at a lot of money, and they do this week in, week, month in, month out. They're doing it all the while. Leicester owners, we can't believe how lucky we are to have them, lads. And
it's about appreciating your fans, and there's very, very few clubs left in this country now, and probably in the world, that actually appreciate and actually want to give anything back apart from just fucking take all the time. We've got our clubs owned by a guy, ex fucking Disney man, ex Disney, and doesn't put anything. Yeah, that's him. And he puts nothing into the club. It's so we were one of the best run community clubs in the country when we came out of all the administration, all the shit we got ourselves into. He's come in and done fuck all with it. Really. Yeah.
There should be a law where a club can't be completely owned by one person. It should be like 25% should be owned by the community. Yeah. So they can't come in and do this. They can't just, I mean, what's Man United? I think the Glaziers own 90% of it, don't they?
Yes.
It'll be right up there, isn't it? Yeah.
That cannot be right. That cannot be right in this. Mind you, there again, Leicester owners, I think they own the fucking lot. So, what am I talking about?
Yeah, fucking hypocrite.
Yeah.
Tony Gillette, that's the one. I called him bloody Warner earlier.
So Megatoddy, so he's. I didn't realise he knows my oldest friend's husband. It's his cousin. So I only found this out a couple of weeks ago, and he messaged me earlier saying, "Where did you get these beers?" Like, but don't get them. Boycott Cloudwater, rubbish.
There's a lot of people kicking off about it, weren't there? A lot of people kicking off about it. I can't wait to get hold of them personally, just see if they're any good.
I'm not going to review the core range because I'm going to stick to my principles. But the other one. No, fucking hell, Dave. I was just pretending.
Hello, John.
Hello, sausage.
John's in. Does John know anything about football?
Nothing. He knows it's round.
He's sensible. He stays away from it.
So Paul sent me a message saying, "I'm doing this live with John. John doesn't know anything about football. Are you and Dave interested?"
So I can't sit here waffle to myself for an hour. I thought I've got to get some opinion,
Yeah. Well, I thought I'll do another 10 minutes with you. Then I'm
doing 10 minutes, and I'm off to watch This Is Us on Prime, which is a very good program.
Is there any football in it?
Yeah,
no, it's American, Dave. Your favourite people, I've learned tonight.
Any boobs, that kind of thing.
Good stuff.
It's a great people that anyone that likes a good program. This Is Us on Prime. It's fantastic. It weaves through decades, and the whole story entwines through the whole lot. It's phenomenal. It's really, really good. We're getting to the end of it now, which is a bit sad, really.
Papa Perez literally said he would create his own World Cup if the players are banned from playing the FIFA World Cup. Jesus Christ. So now they've got backup plans.
I think this will rumble on. As I said earlier, I think red tape will this will tie up in the courts for you. You got the government trying to get involved. You got UEFA. You got the Premier League. It's my understanding that these clubs need the Premier League's authority to do this. Well, that's not coming. That'll never come. So it just ties up in red tape.
Well, have you? I mean, I only just come into this 20 minutes ago. Didn't UEFA? Have Spurs, Man City, and somebody else been kicked out of the semi-final for next week because they've been discussing this?
Oh, I don't know. I've not seen that.
I've seen something somewhere where I'm sure it says. Hold on, is it on? You two chat amongst yourselves.
Okay, mate.
Obviously, City, Chelsea are still Champions League, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is it, isn't it?
Well, that's what Gary Neville said last night. He said the farcical thing of this is Manchester United aren't even in the fucking Champions League. How could they be? How can they be in all of a sudden a Super League in fucking Europe?
They're gonna abandon it. You know, Jim's laughing at Brits complaining about Americans.
Oh, we complain about fucking everything, mate. Don't worry about that.
I do. I'm happy. Hey, have you seen Keir Starmer getting kicked out of that pub today?
I saw that.
Get out of my pub.
You're not welcome, you bastard. I love that. I think that's brilliant. I think fair play to him. Fair play to him.
I can't find that thing, but I'm pretty sure that I don't know whether it's UEFA or the Premier. It must be UEFA. They've said that if this is true, that you're discussing this to Man City, Chelsea, and somebody else, you're not welcome in the semi-final for next week. So
who's in the other? Is it Real Madrid? Is it Real Madrid versus?
That's it, Real Madrid.
Real Madrid, yeah. So Real Madrid, City, Chelsea are all still in it. The other PSG's the other one, in it, but they still don't do it. So three of the 4 semi-finalists are banging trouble now, aren't they?
The more you think about it, and the more you read into it, and obviously Jurgen Klopp's the comments that come in like 10 minutes ago, it just shows what an absolute farce it is.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It is. They're right there, Brad. Never. I don't like Gary Neville at all, or Gary Carragher for that matter. But they both hit the nail on the head yesterday. I thought they got it spot
on. To be fair, I've got to be honest. Since I mean, I hated Gary Neville as a player. I mean, if I'd have been playing, I would have chopped the man down about 4 times. But if I'd have caught him, but as a pundit, I've got to be fair to the man. He's spot on.
Yeah.
As Steve says, maybe the smaller clubs will benefit from this due to protesting fans. Quite possibly. Clubs start going down the road to the next smaller club, wouldn't they? You know, I could see that happening. John's still working. Good man. Captain Meat uses IPTV for report.
Right. I've just brought up here the richest owners in the Premier League, right? So you got Sheikh Mansour, if that's how you say his name. He's got 20 billion. Who?
Is that Man City?
Yeah. You got Roman, who's not even allowed in the country. Abramovich, he's on 11.3 billion. You got Stan Kroenke bastard at Arsenal, 10 billion. And then I'm not even going to say the Leicester City name because you'd never get that on the back of a shirt.
Go on, Dave. Go on, Dave. For a £3 super chat for Paul, try and pronounce.
Well, we call him Top, don't they? The owners, we call him Top. Shiravaranda Rapapapa.
I think you've nailed that, mate. Well done.
They're 6 billion, and then you've got Spurs at 6 billion, Villa at 5.8. So there's the top 6. The Glaziers are in 8th with 5 billion. And the Liverpool owners, Henry and Werner, they're 2.7 billion. So they're not even in the fucking top 6. You know what I mean? Liverpool aren't even in the top 10, so you can fuck off with your shell suits.
Oh,
I love you.
Christ. Thomas is the second one to say this now. Netflix and your Amazon, YouTube will be all over this, trying to get the rights to it.
They will. And this is where the money will. It's like we can watch Amazon. You can watch the Premier League at Christmas on Amazon. And this is where it's going to go.
Yep. Online streaming.
Yeah, I was watching all the football at Christmas on Amazon. It was great. It was great.
You couldn't go out, could you? Everywhere was fucking shut.
Yeah, exactly. What was you going to do? Sit there, stuff your face, make pies, watch football. That's all I did, pretty much. It was great.
We've been out this weekend to 2 places. It's been lovely.
You was out of the pitch, weren't you, this weekend?
Yeah, we went to Southsea Brewing Company's tap room on Friday, where I managed to squeeze in half an hour. Out of the really did squeeze it in because that was the only time they had left. We had a nice day on Saturday, where we were sat in the garden, did a load of reviews, and just had a really nice time together. Then it ended up with, just after you left, with John for about 45 minutes on his stream, and then yesterday about 5 o'clock, Wanda told me that Fallen Acorn were open over in Gosport, so we popped over to Fallen Acorn, had a beer, sat out in the sunshine, and came home. And just being out and just doing something normal was amazing.
Yeah. We're all winning, Tom. We're all winning the debate, mate. It turns out it wasn't really a debate. We're all bang on it. So there we go.
No, we're all winners because we're all in the same mindset of it's a load of fucking bullshit.
I was wondering if anyone was going to come on at some point and say I'm all for it, and everyone would have jumped on them. No, we're all safe, I think.
My favourite thing I've seen in about the last 3 weeks is when Dave was doing the England versus Poland game, and he asked the question of Gareth Southgate in or out. And it was his whole comments went out, and then like 30 seconds later, England scored, and it all went in.
I couldn't plan it any better, could I?
Love it. I love it.
Yeah. But don't the Tottenham owners own about 5 other clubs as well, don't they?
Not as far as I'm aware. Enoch is the company.
Yeah. I'm sure they own. I was just trying to find it then. I'm sure they've got fingers in Prague and AK Athens, and I'm sure they've got. I don't know.
I know. City's owners have got a few other clubs, haven't they?
Yeah,
they were trying to be blocked, weren't they? When they took over City, they tried to block it, didn't they? Because of their interest in other clubs.
That's right. They own. In New York, they got a club in New York. They own as well. There's one in Australia. They own. Yeah, they've got loads of clubs going there.
Let's have a look. I'll find it somehow.
Right,
here are Tottenham Hotspurs. So the group they own. They've also bought stakes in Tottenham, Rangers, SK Slava Prague, Prague, Athens, Vinzica Calico, and FC Basel.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
That's what it says. Well, there you go. That is fucking Wikipedia. So it's.
I know. Yes. I know Joe Lewis is the boy who runs it, and I'm sure he's got like an 86% shares in the club. So
yeah.
And Daniel Levy just runs it for him. He's the day-to-day, guy.
From what it sounds like, he couldn't run a fucking tap then, could he? If he's thinking of doing it.
Well, not successfully.
It's all right if you want to make your business nice and big, yeah, brilliant. But if you want to win a trophy, don't get them in, for Christ's sake.
No. So there you go. So right, well, I'm going to knock this on the head, mate. It's 8 o'clock. I said I'll be back downstairs to the wife for 8.
I'm going to do the same because I'm going to watch some TV with my good lady.
Lovely.
We're watching the Flamboyant.
I'm going to go watch the football.
In a minute, we've got Leeds Liverpool, haven't we, at 8? So that's interesting.
All right,
cheers, Dave.
Cheers, Dave.
Take care, guys. Thank you to David Scott for getting involved there. Let's catch up with his comments. Paul says, I had to say Man City looked to benefit the most in my eyes. I think they'll do quite well, won't they? I think they'll be just fine. Daniel 1BK says, I was wrong. I missed your first bit, mate. I'd never see the day that only football talked about and not a word of beer on a beer. We did mention beer a little bit earlier. It did come up. Everyone was chatting about the new Cloud Waters at Tesco. Anyone got their hands on them yet? I know Scott's got them. Big Kev, it won't happen. The fans will step up and come together. I hope so, mate. David's the ginger, I believe. But needs to go a beer. It's a requirement when you got to have a beard. You've got to have a beard when you come on my channel, wouldn't you? It's the rules. He can beer one day, and Dave got a beard, mate. The women love it. Says, consider this. Oh, cheers, John. Thank you, mate. I bet the firm smashed up the stadiums. I hope not. Cost a bloody fortune. There's some good things. The lower teams can go up the leagues. Yeah, but they can, but it's just got. What's it all worth? I think the debate comes up like if like Man United, example, are still allowed to play in the Premier League, and then they've got a big game against Real Madrid coming up in the week in this Super League. You know for a fact they're going to rest players, aren't they? They're going to put the youngsters out, and it just makes a mockery of the Premier League as well. You know, it's just silly. Lawes Brew & Co. Did you get sunburnt the other day? I was concerned for you in the sun. It was coming down on him, wasn't it? It really was. Lawes Brain, I was fine, buddy. A tiny bit red. Lovely stuff. Right, I've caught up with the chat. Thank you for watching. It was just a quick live. I thought we'd events and have a chat about it. Thank you for getting involved. Thank you for tuning in. That was good. I feel better. I feel like I've had a bit of a therapy session. I'm going to have a beer, watch some TV, and enjoy the rest of my Monday evening. And I hope you guys do too. I will be back with a beer review very soon. And if you don't see them, I will see you on Saturday, the live stream. Speaking of which, Phil said, Paul, did you say Cloudwater beers on your stream Saturday? Yes, that's the plan. If I can get them. If my Tesco's got them, hopefully. If we can't get them, it's not the end of the world. We'll drink wherever we got going. But yeah, if we can get the Cloudwater beers for next Saturday, we'll drink them all together and see what we think. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Appreciate it. You take care of yourselves, and that goes for all of you. I'll speak to you all very soon. Thanks a lot.